Thank you, thank you.
Exactly. All right, so
Yep.
let's start at the bottom and go all the way to the top. So, Mr. Stafa, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Stafa. I stream on Twitch sometimes, hopefully. Um, I'm here to just chill, have a great time. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And yeah, that's pretty much me. Let me put
Hell
these
yeah, man.
glasses back on.
Oh, that boy is Terminator. Okay. Sheesh.
All right, and ToeYouUp, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hey, tell you what. Hell, where do I even begin? I'm a consistent streamer. Stream every day. Play with my hand and a foot, and that's where you get the name. I don't know what else was the question.
Yeah, just introduce yourself. You don't have to say a whole lot now. We're just gonna have everybody introduce themselves, and then we'll get to asking you some interesting questions.
Yeah, that's it. Toe you up. Let's get to the questions.
All right. Well, let me let Shy and Paradox and Overlord introduce themselves, and we'll jump right into it. All right, Shy, go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
I'm Cheyenne. You can find me at ShyCan93 on all platforms. I'm a variety game streamer, and
All right, that's awesome. And Mr. Paradox, when you're done licking your fingers, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, Paradox? You know, I'm kind of the opposite Toe. I'm a very inconsistent streamer. I'm just here for the lulz.
And he does provide. All right, and last but not least, Mr. Overlord, aka Gucci Mane on the Raj Patel Show. What's up, dude?
Man, he saved the best for last. You know, OverlordAsura.
Huh?
Oh, relax there, kiddo. I don't stream yet, but yeah, I'm just.
Oh, your
Yeah,
mic
man.
is cutting out again, Overlord. Oh man, we gotta fix that. Go ahead and do that. Introduce yourself again.
Look, man, I'm Dr. OverlordAsura. You feel me? I got my doctorate and all. That don't matter right now. I'm here for the laughs, the memes, and all that shit. You feel me? Let's get to it.
All right, yeah, I get you. All right,
Hell yeah.
all right. So I think we have one more joining. We can start getting into. Well, I guess I should probably just get them in here so we don't have to be cut off or anything. All right, so let's hope they knock right away. In the
Alright,
meantime, let's see. So you're gonna be streaming later tonight, right, ToeYouUp?
I am.
What do you think you'll
I
be?
am going to be streaming.
What do
And
you
shout
think?
out to all my followers and fans that I've gotten here. Much love.
I love
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
too.
Much love. The real ones.
Mhm.
The ones that'll follow you anywhere. So what do you think you'll be streaming tonight?
What do I think I'll be streaming? Apex Legends. Oh yeah.
And what's your main in that game?
My main player.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly play Bangalore. I've got a couple of buddies, mainly Nick the Grizzly. Shout out to him. That I play with, and we've been switching it up. You know, we're pretty new to the game. The game is new itself, so you know, I'm just trying things up. Mainly Bangalore, though. You know.
Yeah, her
Okay.
passive makes her really good in that game. I think she's probably the top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it, or it's not because you know she's, you feel me, special ops, and you kind of special ops, you know what I mean? So y'all don't connect like that. That's not why.
It is funny. She's a Marine, I think, in the game. You know, but I like how she plays. You know, it's quick, it's aggressive, and yeah, she's an awesome player. So.
All right. Y'all
So
hear that?
outside of Apex, what else do you play? Like, what's your like bread and butter? Like, everybody's got that one game that like they'll take to the
Battlefield.
grave with them.
I mean, it was Battlefield. Can still be Battlefield, but you know, let me ask you guys: know anything about Battlefield 5?
yep.
Not
wish
so
I did.
much.
I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hardcore
yeah.
Call of Duty player.
Fanboy.
Well, I mean, look, you know, they didn't even meet record sales, you know, as far as their expectations. So, they've got a lot of bugs to work out. You know, they sold an unfinished game, I feel like. So that used to be it. Like I said, that's what I've always played on is Battlefield, and never got into BRs just because I'm on PlayStation for one, and then Fortnite's just not my dig. Um, so I got into Apex. Man, it's I think it's awesome. So it challenges me as a one-handed player, but that's all good.
Because they got abilities too, not just movements, like abilities and all that.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
assume.
it's a lot going on with the buttons, you know, for one hand, for sure.
Yeah.
Do they have any like things more like specialized for that? I know they have like game pads that you can use instead of controllers. Like, have you tried any of those? Do any of them work? Or
Well, 1 second. All right, Trip, go ahead and mute in the appearance for me, and just introduce yourself real quick, and then we're gonna get into the questions.
So my name's Nocturnal_Trip, and I stream body painting and kind of just variety of things.
Awesome, awesome. So, like Paradox was saying, do you have any special equipment, like a special type of controller or anything like that?
I don't know.
No, I mean ToeYouUp.
As far no, I don't. But that's about to change. I actually just got my first sponsorship today, and I can go ahead and announce it because it's official. With Cinch Gaming, Cinch Gaming controllers. I'm now partnered with them, and so I will have, in a sense, an adaptive controller that allows for me to have a different button configuration with buttons on the back side of the controller. So I don't, as of right now, I just use a regular controller, but that's about to change.
Hey,
That's
there
cool.
you
Alright,
go.
alright.
Hey.
Yeah, that's gonna
Congratulations.
inspire a lot of people, dude.
It
Dope.
will.
Yeah.
So-
Don't let your dreams be dreams, kids. Tell me. I like that.
So, like, what's the hardest challenge of gaming like that? Like, do you get cramps, or like, is it just like frustrating, or?
What is the biggest challenge? I'd say the biggest challenge, honestly, is myself. Be it that, man, I can get pissed if I fail, you know, to be clutch. You know, at close quarter combat. You know, that really detailed, precise, quick, snappy. You know, that can be quite difficult with my two fingers while shooting at the same time. And so, you know, it's usually I have the support of my teammates that are like, "Hey, man, it is what it is." But it's that getting tilted aspect, you know, like I let myself down, you know, because I don't feel like I'm playing with one hand unless I actually just take a step back and think about it. You know what I mean? I've kind of adapted that far, so.
Now, on the whole being tilted thing, personally, I haven't played Apex yet. I would love to. You feel me? Somebody sponsor me one time. But is it toxic in that game? You know what I mean? I play League of Legends, and you know the community is they're fun. Is there any toxicity in Apex Legends or anything you have to deal with like that?
Not really. Not that I've noticed. I try not to surround myself with toxicity, and you know, certainly in my community that has been built around me, I don't see that at all. You know, it's very encouraging. You know, inclusive. You know, I mean, like there's often times when we play with randos, and if anything, man, I feel that it has certainly brought because I've gained friends from it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I just play with this rando. Mic check. Oh, you got a mic. Let's do this. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
So I don't think it's toxic. You know what I mean? I've not gone on the mic with a 12-year-old, you know, to go and roll some noobs. It's, you know, that's not happened at all.
All right, got you. Okay. It's not like the Call of Duty back in the day, Modern Warfare 2
Right.
lobbies.
Yeah.
So, so is PlayStation like the easiest controller for you to play with, or can you do the same things with Xbox controllers?
I've not tried. Yeah, I've just not tried. You know what I mean? By and large, my friends are on PlayStation, so I've just not applied myself there. So I don't know, to be honest with you. And the thing is with Xbox, I wouldn't foresee myself using just a regular controller, beat that they've got adaptive controls.
Yeah, they do.
And believe me, everybody's like, "Yo, have you tried Xbox?" You know what I mean? So yeah, I've just not gone that route. I've just not tried it. Same with PC. You know.
Okay.
I used to play. This all started on PlayStation 3. Kind of give you, what segued into PlayStation 4.
Mm.
And here, I've got a controller here. With the PS3 controller, I can basically wrap my hand
Big
around
ass
it.
hands.
Yeah. Hand one.
Sorry. Correct.
I'm just kidding. But with this big button made it difficult to play. With the PS3 controller, I'm actually much better. So that's what led to this, and it was just one of those things I just never tried.
So you know how like a DJ mixing boards kind of has the turntable and a bunch of buttons on it?
Yeah.
So I guess Xbox has a controller similar to that. Do you think that would make it more difficult or easier for you if it was that style, like almost like a tabletop type thing?
I mean, I'm sure if they're built to be, accessible or have more utility, then I could probably find the same use in it. The one thing I never wanted to kind of detract from is the fact that my name is ToeYouUp. It's kind of a pun on words. And, all the other cheeky names are taken. So, and, I don't want to detract from the fact that I play with my foot, and that's kind of something that I've adapted to. So,
can I hear some of those other names? Do you remember them or no?
Oh, like One Arm Bandit, Right Hand Man, Left Hand Man. I mean, there was a couple of them I put out there. Toe You Up was one that I came up with, and I thought that looks nasty with all those vowels in there. But it makes sense, and once you read it and then you see it, how it's applied in context, it's understood, I think, by everybody.
Yeah. Okay. I like the fact that, despite everything, you can laugh at yourself. Like, people like that is hard to find, to be honest. So the fact that you could be like, like it is who I am now. So like, I might as well embrace it and be who I am. I like that a lot.
Yeah, man. You live once, you know what I mean? I'm not a small guy, and I'm not trying to put that out there to, test anybody's, dominance here, but yeah, I mean, we can all be creatures of just that in itself, you know what I mean? Like scary people. And I don't want to be that. I want to be loved, you know what I mean? I want to be adorned. I want to be a legend to my kids. And you'll never do that by, smashing bridges and punching faces and shit like that. So can I curse in here? I can curse, right?
Oh yeah.
Anything that's not Twitch TOS.
Derogatory, nothing
that's
derogatory.
That's a real inspiration. All right, relax. I'm trying to ask the man a damn question. Damn, Overlord, get it together. No, but that's a real inspiration, man. For you to go through all that and then still come out on top with that kind of attitude, I think you could really lead a lot of people on Twitch in the right direction. There's so many people that just don't really have a social life, and they may be kind of lost or lonely, and then they stumble upon your stream, see what you've been through, and how you still carry that positive attitude. I think it could change some lives on here.
I don't know how exactly that translates. I am just playing a game. So I don't know how that, and I hear, hey, that's inspirational that you are able to keep doing that you want to do in the way that you can find to do it. But I don't know how that translates to that,
Well, that's
I
like
mean,
kind of where.
you know, I'm
Well,
I'm here, and
yeah, but I think if you're like on interview shows like this or podcasts, or even while you're just gaming on your stream and you're bullshitting with some friends and you guys get on the topic, the right person at the right time could hear it and definitely make them think about their own life and hopefully change some things if they need to.
gotcha. Yeah, well, I mean, hell, man, I've been through a lot. I've had cancer. I've
Damn.
I lost my arm to a motorcycle accident. For those of you that didn't know, I'm just putting that out there. I am a Marine Corps veteran, and so it's something that I carry with no pride. And as far as my accident, um, I don't know.
Do you want to
How
talk?
that transcends to help other people, but I definitely put myself out there, to help in other individuals in the event that I can, any way possible.
Definitely, definitely. So, do you want to talk about your injuries at all, or do you just want to kind of go into other topics about yourself?
No, that's fine. I can do that. Uh, where to start? This happened in 2008. When the economy was going down. And at the time, I was a personal trainer, having separated from the Marine Corps. And yeah, I mean, it was a really tough time, especially as a personal trainer, and having just gone down and was fighting for my life. It was interesting. You know what I mean? Life turned around. I was in the pits for a long time, so gaming was one of the ways for me to uh I don't know. I mean, input what you will, put yourself in that position. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to be toxic to people. You know what I mean? Because your life isn't the greatest. So I
Yeah,
got into gaming, you know what I mean?
I know what you
Uh,
mean. Like, I was ran over by
so,
a truck when I was a freshman in high school, had a bunch of surgeries, got infected, I almost lost my
mm,
leg. So, like, I kind of know what you mean. I obviously don't know what it's like to lose the limb, but to be in that state of recovery where you have to learn how to operate again, kind of improvise while you're going through all that. So, like, I definitely know what you mean. Gaming, I know some people call it an escape, but I don't know if I'd really consider it like that. Just a way to kind of relax for a little while and think clearly.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, what's crazy too is we get older, we don't want to do, we're so caught up in our profession or our daily lives and shit. You find that so many of us, can relate on the same level, and you get in there, and I've made a lot of really good friends online over time, and I'm sure a lot of us have.
Yep.
So that's something I've always gone to, and has helped me, certainly.
Hell yeah, dude.
So like generally with I can't speak from experience, but like generally with like traumas like that, like people have like some kind of support system that like really helps them through it. Like what was your like family or
I
outside of
don't.
like video games, did you have like any other like support that really helped you push through?
Um. How can I?
I can ask a different question if it's uncomfortable.
No, listen, man. I just don't know what I can say because I'll tell you anything. I really don't give a shit. Um,
I like that. I like that.
Hell yeah, I like it a lot.
yeah, I mean, if you're bothered by it, that's your problem. You know what I mean? That's your prerogative. I just don't want to say anything because here's the thing: I don't have family. I didn't have anybody to lean on. You know what I mean? I'm an only kid. Like I don't talk to my parents. I haven't talked to. I don't know if they're alive. So that, like, when I say I was in the pits, like I was literally kind of, I mean, there was a time in which I slept in my best friend's closet for like almost a week. You know, when I had my own place to go to. So just talking with friends, man. Surrounding myself with people that love me for who I was and were there to help me out no matter what. Um, I mean, that's hard to say when you're 22 and you think you're, big swinging dick and, the biggest swing in, in the circle, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
and I think all the guys that are in here can probably pick up on that. But, as we get older, man, it's that support system is key, to make sure that, because people come out the woodwork. Hey, they want to sympathize. They want to be there for you. You know what I mean? And especially if you're a good person. Like I've never done anything malicious or with, ill intent to anybody in my life. So, I had good reserves. I guess you could say,
Would you consider yourself a religious person?
No. I can tell you a lot about religion, but I don't consider myself religious.
Okay.
So what's the
Go ahead, Paradox. No, go ahead.
your day-to-day, like, just life? What's like something that I'll ask a question, I'll ask a follow-up. What's like the hardest thing for you, just basics to do?
That's hard. That's really hard. I mean, I can show you how to tie a shoe one-handed.
What?
Yeah.
That's actually really impressive.
Yeah,
It is.
I can barely do it with two hands.
I feel like you don't give yourself enough credit. I mean, I really don't know you that well, but what you go through and do is amazing. Like, my mom has an amputated limb. It's her leg. And, like, the shit she has to do, that's so much extra. That's crazy, man. I can only imagine an arm.
It's been, and they say, there's stages that you go through. And be it that I work with a lot of amputees, you can kind of see that everybody goes through them. Some go through them quicker, some, some don't. But one thing that is, that happens to everybody is the adaptability, your ability to adapt and overcome. Certainly I still have the neuropathy, but you live your day to day still doing the same things. You just have to figure out a different way. So inversely, that's like me asking you, well, now that you don't have 4 arms and you've only got 2 arms, what has changed? You can't really sit there and say substantively like, well, because I still do everything the same. I coach my son's basketball. I mean, there's I don't know. You know what I mean? I play with a game, a PS4 controller with a hand and a foot. I don't know. I mean, I don't wash dishes very quietly. When I wash the dishes, they're extremely loud. You know what I mean? But aside of that,
Do you get any kind of phantom pains?
all the time, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, in my mind, my hand is still there. As I tell people, one of the most often, one of the biggest complaints I have is as if my thumb is being smashed in a vice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so much pain. I'll start sweating, and it's exhausting. So, and it's crazy because it's not there.
Have you thought about getting a prosthetic? I mean, I know they're getting pretty advanced with those.
Yeah. Yeah, I work with a prosthesis group. Like I said, I work with a lot of amputees, and I am a disabled veteran. So all of the funds could be appropriated if I was to get something like that. I just haven't seeked it out. I've always told people, the moment that I can attach like a 30-mile-an-hour like propeller, you know what I mean? Like I go get in water and be like, like there's that dude, you know what I mean? It's,
Super soldier.
yeah. Then I'll do that. But I can tie my shoe. I can go and do everything else. You know what I mean? I can't give you a high 10 or, make awesome snow angels, but that's cool.
You
I
can
don't
still
think
make
anybody does
snow
high 10.
angels.
So,
they would have personality to them,
character,
You just
yeah.
have to do one
Yeah.
and then flip over and do the other side.
Yeah, that's
Put your
true.
face in the snow for a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I heard you mention your son. How many do you have? One? How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's like the best part about that?
Just watching them grow, man, and knowing that you are the center of their world. You know what I mean? You are the driving force to everything behind them. Their knowledge, their want, their willfulness to gain knowledge, all the above. I mean, you're in control of all that. So, and in return, it's like non-ending love. You know what I mean? That's all you are to them is their world. So after I had testicular cancer, and I never thought I'd be able to have any more kids after having had it, and then I had my little girl. So yeah, life is good. Kids
That's
are
good,
awesome.
though.
Kids are awesome. So
How old are they?
6 and 4.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Kids?
I have a 2-year-old.
I am a
Oh, yeah.
kid.
We
Yeah.
know stuff.
Yep.
I have 3 dogs. I treat them like kids.
Hey, there you go.
I got a laptop and it be acting like a child, so that's some. Just saying. But yeah, I like it, man. This is some wholesome, family time stuff right here. I like it.
All right,
So,
so
all right, you go ahead, Paradox.
you're stranded on a desert island. What are 3 things you're gonna bring with you?
A desert island. Uh, 3 things I'd bring with me. Shit, I'd really just need a knife. I don't know.
Okay.
A container for
That's-
water. A knife and a flint. I mean, if I was,
Nice.
yeah,
You're the first
That's the
person to
survival
pick
side.
things to actually survive.
Yeah.
Other people were like McDonald's and
Yeah.
other stupid shit.
A TV, my dog, my girlfriend. Like, if you could hear some of the other answers, you'd
Who
be
said
A
their
tired.
grocery store. Somebody said a grocery store.
That's stupid. Oh.
All right, so you're in the grocery line, and you get your groceries, and you hand the cashier money, and she gives you too much change back. What do you do?
I'll always give it back. I'm not. I'm one to believe. I've reconciled with myself. I believe that what you put in is what you get out, and I there's no place in my life for thieves and pedophiles. You know what I mean? So, um, anytime anything is unwarranted or given to me, I will return it. If it's needed. Absolutely.
I feel like that always pays off too, because I strongly believe in karma.
Mhm.
I'm not perfect. I've done bad things, but I realized when doing those bad things, it always came back to me. And that's why just do good things and be patient, and that will also come back to you. It's just how it works, I feel like.
Yeah, I just don't need no more shit in my life. You know what I mean? I've gone through
Exactly.
enough.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're all still pretty young here. We're living a very weird time period.
Yeah.
Shit could hit the fan at any moment, Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
think's the hardest lesson you've learned in life?
To have courage.
Do you want
Quite
to
simply.
elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. To have courage. You know, I used to have a lot of doubt in myself, and you know, I never. This is gonna go deep, right? Um, I just, I never loved myself. I never thought I was smart. I never thought I was attractive. I never thought I was, you know, smart, strong. Um, I never had the courage to try and stand out. I was always just like, you know,
Yeah.
um, you know, for example, before I lost my arm, for the second time, I wanted to get into com- competitive bodybuilding, and I just never did it. I had what it took, and then I lost it. I mean, look at me. You know what I mean? So having the courage, you know, and that goes through intrinsically throughout everything that I've ever applied myself to in life. That maybe could have been a bigger opportunity for me that I just didn't take. Having the courage.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to know the craziest thing though? Like everyone thinks that they don't look good or they're not strong or they're not smart, stuff like that. Like literally everyone thinks that. If
Right.
we're all like that, then who the hell does look good or is strong or is smart? Like people just gotta realize that, honestly.
And that's you know, in short, that's what I mean by that. You know what I mean? Because especially when I don't want to keep this negative, but you know, I didn't come from anything that was constructive. Like I said, I don't have much of a family life,
Mm.
so just having that courage, you know what I mean? Like that's what's great about having a support system. You know, I got a wife right now that is right now right now. I've got a wife, my wife, forever. You know, she's amazing, and she's been with me when I had two arms, when I had two testes, you know, when I had,
Yeah.
you know, when I thought I had it, and now, you know, and you know, courage, and you know, just it's huge, man. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I could go on and on, but yeah, plug for my wife.
Hey,
Sounding
shout out
terrible.
to your wife for
Yeah.
holding it down, man. That's a queen right there.
The real one.
Ladies,
So.
take notes, okay? Y'all
Oh,
too.
Lord, shut your mouth.
Y'all-
Yeah.
So what sci-fi movie or book would you like the future to be like?
Man, this is gonna be tough. So this is I don't all right, so I don't watch television. Um I know everybody's gonna be like, what?
No.
I don't watch television like at all. I haven't really sat down and watched television in probably well, before my accident, so more than 10 years. So I don't know. And even before that, I've never been one to watch like, you know, sci-fi movies. I mean, if I was to tell you anything, it'd be like the never-ending story. You know what I mean? And some of you guys probably don't even know what that means. Which
I hope everyone here knows what
let me
it
ask:
is.
anybody know what the never-ending story is?
I just
One
know
and
because that dragon is about it.
Sounds like a fairy tale.
it was, yeah, Falcor. Yeah. So you know that this shows a little bit of my age, but I just don't. You know, I'm not good. I'm not good there. So.
Oh,
But
I
I did,
remember that movie.
Yeah, the saddest scene is like where the
Okay.
horse is stuck in like the
Yeah, freaking nostalgia. Holy crap.
Atreyu.
yeah, Atreyu, exactly.
Does
yeah.
that mean I'm old?
Nah. Just
No,
means we have a good childhood.
Yeah, I think I threw myself under the bus there.
Wait, so how old are you? Did you say that earlier?
I'm 35.
Okay.
Oh, on the subject of age, right? So personally, I put the world into two categories. The video game players and the non-video game peasants. You feel me? So the non-video game players often tell like older people who play video games like 30 and up that oh, you still play games? Isn't that for kids? And how do you feel about that? Like, what do you think personally?
It's I mean, I don't care. It's for me, I look at it as who were they expecting to be playing Atari and NES and I mean, like they're not going to want to give it up. Certainly the parents, a lot of the parents that don't want to give it up, I didn't start until again I was like 20s. But I don't know, man. I got like 50 some friends online.
Yeah.
I don't have 50 some friends I can call in real life.
Heard, dude.
So, if anything, that's my Facebook. So
the thing is, like, I feel like, isn't it just entertainment the same as movies or yeah, it's like all the same. What's the difference? If you're 50 playing video games or 12, it's like
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, people yell at 12-year-olds for playing video games, and they yell at you if you're 20 for playing video games. So who the hell is supposed to play these games, man?
Exactly.
Somebody let me know. Honestly.
Dude, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Huh?
Everyone gets in trouble for playing games.
Yup. Can't win.
As long as it's not League, you should be all right.
Whoa,
Hey, yeah, back up there.
That's
words.
Taking it too far, Chedda. Too far, man.
That game ruined my life, and I love it. All right.
Oh, by the way, if any team wants to pick up TSM 100 Thieves, this new guy coming up, he's fantastic. His name is Chedda King on League of Legends. Look him up.
Oh my God,
The
stop.
greatest I've seen in a long time.
All right, so let's stay on track here. All right, so what do you think is the craziest thing you've done to impress your wife or any girl or just anybody for that matter, I guess?
Craziest thing I've done to impress anybody?
Yeah.
Oh boy, man! I used to drag race for a hobby.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
That almost went south there.
And I mean, I've had some pretty monstrous cars. Man, I mean, I used to love to drift, and I don't. Yeah. Well, I hope my wife isn't. With an ex, I did a really, really fucking gnarly drift in front of the Havelock Police Department when I was in the Marine Corps, and in front of a shit ton of Marines. It was like this huge get together, and I went through an intersection, drifting the whole thing, coming onto another street, and it was quite the display. I mean, it was just for the lady that was in the seat beside me, and for everybody that was watching. But I mean, hell, I've done a lot of things, and that's just one thing I can pop off right off, just because I knew there was legal shit that was just about to happen as soon as I came to a stop, going into it. So
do you have any crazy stories from in the Marines that like wouldn't break TOS? Anything you want to talk about or share?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'll get it out of the way. So I went in 2002. I joined the Marine Corps 2002. I watched 9/11 happen, and at that time I was like, man, I got to do my thing. Again, no family, nowhere to go. I wanted the Marine Corps to test me, and I just wanted to go and see the world, and the Marine Corps was it. Went in as crash fire rescue. I wanted to be a firefighter, and when I went in, they started phasing that job out, and so they used my score and selected me into a position in which behooved the Marine Corps the most, which was ordnance, aviation ordnance. So I made and handled munitions and explosives, and mainly was on boat, so it's not like I was out in the dirt So, but I've done some cool shit, you know. I mean, when you mess with explosives, you can't help but, you know, experience some pretty cool things. So, you know, like a Lu-2 flare popping off in the middle of the desert, which has got, you know, multiple million candlewatt power, and it's at your hands and it's about to go off. You know what I mean? That shit can get really intense. And a lot of things, you know, a lot of things. But too many. I mean, we used to go down to Mexico, you know, good times down there. Yeah, and the Marine Corps was a hoot. You know what I mean? Like, we got somebody that served in the Air Force, and thank you for your service. You know, I mean, just the military. Yeah, just the military in itself is different from the civilian sector. You know what I mean? So, it's some people can't relate, but you know, you can identify with the fact that you can't build explosives in the civilian sector without getting in a heap of shit. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot of cool aspects to it.
I mean, I have a very important question, and you got to think carefully before you answer this.
Oh boy.
You ready? Okay. If YES spells yes, what does EYES spell?
What does EYES?
So if YES spells yes, what does EYES spell?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Dude, Overlord, Overlord, you want to know something funny about that joke?
What?
Someone was trying to tell that joke to a girl, and I ruined the joke, and they kicked me from their server.
Wow. That's a little harsh.
This is an adult. Someone
So what am I missing out on the joke?
It spells eyes.
Eyes.
Oh.
EYES, yeah. It's
EYES.
It's a trick question, yeah.
I'm just here to troll. Don't mind me.
Oh, that's good. No, that's
So-
good. I'm gonna.
So you said that
Flip
you don't
right
watch
fucking
TV,
through.
but do your kids watch a lot of TV or like some TV?
Yeah, I'd be lying to say that they don't watch television. It's but they don't watch television. They watch like they watch shows they can learn off of Amazon. You know, like
Okay.
Wild Kratts and stuff like that. So it's actually really incredible. I don't personally allow for like Barbie or you know what I mean, like nothing that's not constructive. So that's where I'm at. I mean, you know, we will occasionally watch like an animated movie. Most recently, we watched The Incredibles. You know, so it's not like I'm completely opposed. It's just I don't want that to be something that we build our family time around.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's
So-
bad enough. I don't ever stream until my kids are in bed. You know, so
Gotcha.
it's one of those things.
So you told us what the coolest thing you've ever done for somebody or to like in front of somebody. What's one of the worst or meanest things that you've ever done to somebody?
One of the
Ooh,
I'm not, you know, to be honest with you, I'm not one of the meanest things.
And it doesn't have to be something you did intentionally, like, you know, like I've misled somebody or I've like you know what I mean.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't. I mean, I'd be forthright and tell you honestly. I don't know. I'm not. I've never had a you know, ill will or bad intent or anything like that. I mean, back in my high school days, you know, I was pretty mad at the world. You know what I mean? So I might have done some things that were, you know, unacceptable to some, but never would I direct anything, you know, towards people. So I'm not one to destroy your property. You know, yeah.
Okay.
What's a like Marine stereotypes that you heard? Like, for example, do you have a
Your mic cut out.
Yeah, I didn't hear that last part.
Oh, what are some like Marine, Army stereotypes? Like, do you have a Camaro? You know.
So stereotypes. I mean, there's
Mhm.
certainly stereotypes, man. You got your guys that are in there because in the civilian sector, they don't really grind. They have to have something that gives them that organization.
Mhm.
That time schedule. Be here, be there. Do as you're told.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certainly different types. I got out obviously because I didn't necessarily support the mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
With what's going on overseas and everything. And I mean, then after 9/11 and learning what I know about explosives and looking at 9/11 in hindsight, I don't know. I mean, it's something I want to get out of. But as far as like personality, yeah, there are. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty tough grind because you're all supposed to be of the same cloth.
Yeah.
When that's not necessarily true, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of got out too. So, yeah.
You got to tell me some punishments now. Like, what punishments you seen your friends go through, or some random rookie. You feel me? Like they did something wrong, or they forgot to say yes, sir. Like, what are some of these punishments you see? Do they have to scrub floors with toothbrushes? Like, do they have to do stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Maybe this can be taken as bad. In boot camp, especially. I mean, everybody gets shit on in boot, right? I was kind of I don't want to say a standout, but again, I was just there. You know what I mean? Like I did everything that I asked and did everything I told, and I didn't want to be that guy that got was the center of attention. But yeah, there's some people like recruit Sparks. Sparks, if you're watching, you piece of shit. He's there's some people that just can't make it, or some that do and make it through. They say there's like a 10% that do. But yeah, I mean, we've beat up other recruits,
Damn.
Jeez, what'd they do?
Fucked up. What do you mean?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like, and it's all put in there for a reason, right? Sparks specifically was a fuck up. He was always messing up. Could never do anything right, man. I mean, like Sparks, all your shit's supposed to be over here, and you put it over here. Fucking mind blowing, And because of Sparks, like literally everybody around him, their shit would get destroyed, and it's a mental game, they're trying to break down morale. And it would work, and so of course, that morale would be broken and shit would happen, and then you get over it collectively. And but yeah, I mean, if you've ever seen the movie Full Metal Jacket,
I was about to ask you if you've seen it. I love that movie.
Great movie.
So the night before we graduated, there were a few that got basically roughed up a little bit, if you would say.
Like at parties?
With the soap,
or the
like
sock party.
Yeah, soap, getting punched. I mean, you're under wool sheets, so all they do is just you go over in while they're sleeping, you just grab their wool sheets and hold them down. There's nothing you can do. So,
man.
Yeah, there was 2 people in our squadron that got it.
So Sparks was like Private Powell. He was the fuck up. That was him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and hey, Sparks, I'm just kidding, man. You know what? You served our country. I love you. But it's interesting. The Marine Corps is interesting just machine, if you will.
Okay, all right. So, what's the first thing that y'all had to do on the bus? I think I've seen some videos, but I want to confirm if it's true. Like, what y'all do? Like, fresh off the bus, what they tell y'all?
Oh, get on the yellow footsteps.
Okay.
Basically, shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Go stand there. You know, yes, yes, sir.
Mm.
And that's it.
Put your
And,
bag
you know,
down, pick your bag up, put your bag back down, pick it up. You didn't move fast enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happens if you throw hands with whoever?
You don't.
Telling you.
What do
What
you
if you do?
mean?
I'm asking.
Dude, you're gonna get dropped.
So-
What do you mean?
What's up? What's up, Sarge? Ooh, you try to catch his fade? 1-2. Give it a old.
So,
1-2.
all right. So there was a point in time in which I can tell you, Moyer was what's called our bulldog, right?
Mhm.
And he was basically the guy that goes around. He's the newest drill instructor. He goes around and tries to break everybody down mentally, especially those that haven't really been broken down, that really haven't shown, you know, that the Marine Corps has gotten to them, you know.
Yeah.
And that was Moyer. He was literally up in my. This is called a knife hand, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I hated this son of a bitch because every time he, you know, like up in my eyeball, like, you know, am I getting the point? No, man, I can't see anything, you know? And so to answer your question, there was a time, and I was a bigger guy than him.
Yeah.
In which there was a time, you know, and I'm 18, 19, you know what I mean? You're not going to put your fucking finger in my face,
Yup.
you know, without me doing something to you. And so I did, you know, I just basically stood forward instead of, you know, and just got in his face and was like, come at me, bro.
Ooh.
And it was
What
at
happened?
that time that the other drill instructors basically just, I mean, tore my ass up. You know what I mean?
Sheesh.
I couldn't even stand on my feet because they would just like, they're pushing me around the whole time and literally in my face screaming nonstop. And then, you know, I'm off to the quarter deck and literally, you know, running until I can't perspirate anymore. So,
Oh my gosh.
but that's how it goes. And I mean, if you assault them, they're Marines, you know, I mean, they have the right to defend themselves. You just have to realize you kind of have a contractual obligation. You know, you sign the dotted line, and if you get
Yeah.
out, that could be you know, you could have an other than honorable discharge, you know, which inhibits you from getting certain things in life. You know what I mean? So that's a really big offense to, you know, not fulfill. So,
Damn.
you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're there for you. And you just kind of put it all to the wayside. Marine Corps is awesome. You know, they're humans too. You know, my drill instructors were phenomenal. And at the end of it, you know, they showed me love and appreciation and told me, you know, that basically I was an awesome recruit. I was an awesome Marine.
Okay.
So.
The model recruit. So do you get nostalgia when you play Rainbow Six? You just be like, damn.
Oh my God.
I remember these days.
Oh
Good
my
times. Good times with the boys.
No, what you should ask him about is like the Marine Corps ball and how hard they fucking party at those things because they are.
Y'all are allowed to party? They let y'all party?
Okay, so each branch has like around the time of that branch's birthday, they have like a big like ball, stuff like that. So like as in the Air Force, they have the Air Force ball. So like,
Go ahead.
when I was in tech school, I was in school with Marines and Navy, and so one of my best friends that was in class with me was a Marine, and he didn't have anybody else to go with. And so I went because I had nothing else to do. All my friends were there for fucking whatever, so they were in and out of tech school, and I was there forever. So I went to this shit, and it was the coolest fucking thing I've ever been to. Like, they're officers, they're enlisted, like, everybody's fucking out on the dance floor, they're all trash, like, everybody's having a good fucking time. You go to the Air Force ball, and they're standing in suits, like, oh, yeah, you know, like, I have this glass of champagne, like, it's fucking boring. And I would go to a Marine Corps ball any fucking day that I could.
So, does anybody know where the Marine Corps is born? Ton Tavern in Philadelphia. That's a bar.
It was born in a bar.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
And
No
so,
kidding.
Every Marine Corps ball will have a beer garden, and every Marine Corps ball, especially at any larger squadron, will generally have some type of accommodations as far as like hotel reservations and stuff like that. That is close, because I mean, you literally get fucking thrashed while you're there, and it's just
Wait,
about
question,
having time.
question, sir. What is a beer garden? Because that sounds fucking lit. What is that?
It's their fancy word for, you know, like a beer social area where you can go and get a drink and be social.
Wow.
So,
Like it's
but
usually
there's
set up fancy, but you don't act fancy.
yes, in some regards. Now there are things that they do for every Marine Corps ball
Mm-hmm.
that is typical protocol. You know, so there's for example, there's the cutting of the cake for the oldest Marine that is in that's present and the youngest Marine. Okay, so
Okay.
that the two are put out there, and so you get to see literally the spectrum of, you know, whatever top officer this is to
Mm.
the literally newest, youngest enlisted, you know, and everybody in between. And it's a collab, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's to meet and greet and, you know, be with your brother and sister. So
I've
You know,
heard
be-
it's
so
awesome.
many crazy things
Yeah.
about how it goes on base with like the party scene, all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna say any details, but yeah, I know a lot of people that have been there, done that. But
Yeah, we used
I think Stafa has to go. He's got some stuff he needs to take care of.
All right,
So-
stop.
Bye,
All
stop.
right, well, hey, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time. But it was a really interesting conversation. I really liked it.
Thank you,
No.
Stafa.
Nice
All right,
job.
man. He didn't say one word. His bum
Hey,
ass.
he's got to go now.
I know. That's my man.
He's got really good content. I guarantee you'll have. Go ahead and check him out.
Yeah, that dude looked. I mean, he's
no,
comical there on stream. You know,
No,
it's
it's funny.
he's hilarious.
You know, I would like to make a suggestion. If I suggestion to the ballot box, you should tell the Marines, right, that at that cake cut thing, right, the oldest, right, the oldest guy, he should say to the young guy, "Good luck, Charlie." He should say that word for word.
good luck, Charlie.
Good luck, Charlie. He should say it. Yes.
Generally, I mean, there generally is an exchange. Generally there is an exchange of words, you know, and I mean, it's a really cool thing. It's a really cool thing to experience, especially be it that the roots of it are so old, and you know, sure, it's a little uncomfortable. Everybody is there in uniform. You get a couple beers in, man, and it's like fuck all, you know, like let's have a good time. So, and you know, within context, I can only speak for the Marine Corps, but things are raw. You know what I mean? Like there is no I don't give a shit about your feelings bullshit. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
you didn't have that, and so I felt like, you know, it was just what you get is what you get. You know, you can appreciate it or not, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I certainly did. You know, so.
Well, now a lot of the branches are leaning more towards you have to watch people's feelings, you have to watch what you say. There's briefings about everything. Like,
Is
Like-
it more about feelings or like kind of discrimination?
Like Twitch TOS
it's both.
kind of.
It's literally both.
Okay.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I would, you know, our services are the most discriminatory employers when you think about it, really, that are out there. Once you get in, it's a totally different thing. I mean, the dynamic of it isn't. I don't know, and I can't say for today. You know, I feel like things have gotten a lot more PC, especially when I was in. Things just started to get more PC.
Mm.
You know, I mean, for example, and I'll you know, I can put this out there. Yeah, I was working on a bomb build out in Yuma, Arizona. I was working on 25 mic at the time, which is an electronically primed munition. In other words, something as simple as electrostatic discharge, or you know, rubbing your feet on the carpet and then discharging that voltage was enough to set off a primer on a round that is literally like half the size of my wrist, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I had a female staff sergeant that was in my bomb build dump because I was the team leader at the time.
Mhm.
That was on her cell phone, which is absolutely not ever at all permissible. And I said something to this lady, and she went behind my back to my command, saying that I went and said some racial shit, and then threatened her with a 4-foot long torque crowbar that I had,
Yeah.
which I did have. I was holstering it on my shoulder because I was turning 1,000-pound bombs at the time. But the whole racial thing didn't ever happen, and I actually went before a judicial panel and had all my Marines there with me to defend. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like it went somewhere to where it was no longer like, hey, love thy brother and love thy sister. It was just kind of like a fuck you dynamic, in which I didn't really, in a lot of regards, I didn't want to be a part of, especially in my job field.
Dude, yeah,
That's how a lot of it's actually turning now, because all the new recruits and stuff, like in every branch, from what I've been hearing, a lot of all the boot camps and basic trainings are having to go more lenient to get more people to come in, and they're changing all these laws and stuff like within the military to be friendlier and to work with all these people that have feelings. And like people come in and like new airmen that have no stripes, they've been in maybe a couple months, and they come in and they like I'll ask them to do something and they wouldn't do it and stuff like that, and they think that the whole Air Force like owed them everything. Like they've been there so long, they're already ready to get out. They think they're entitled. They don't want to have to do their job. Like, oh, you can't yell at me, like all this other bullshit. And there's so many feelings now, and it's so look out for yourself. That like even people deploying and stuff sometimes get nervous because it's such a dog eat dog world now. It's not so much a family, and I feel like, I mean, that's part of the reason why I got out is because of how everything in the military is starting to turn, and it's shitty because it shouldn't be that way. But
Yeah. I mean, right. I mean, they started phasing out a lot, changing a lot of things. Just the dynamic has changed, certainly. And it doesn't mean I don't appreciate that everybody, anybody and everybody that serves. It's just, from what I went in knowing it as to what I know it as now is a little bit different.
Totally different. I was actually in basic training. I was so excited to go. I had all these like high expectations for how basic training was going to be for me. I was pumped. And then I got there and I actually went during all the pools for all the sexual assault stuff. And one of my MTIs actually got pulled for that, and it was my main MTI. And what's funny is he spent one day, like our third week there, preaching to us about how he had a family at home, and there's all this shit going on. He's not interested in like all these dirty females. That he's like, I know how often you shower, this and that. He's like, I'm not interested in any of you. And he ended up actually getting charged and all that stuff. So it's like,
Yeesh.
like, why is that? Why do you feel the need to ruin your life like that? And like that's.
Yeah.
It's not as like it's not as
Yeah.
much of a family as it should be anymore.
Another thing too, I mean, and it's weird being away and being in a relationship is never that's toxic. You know what I mean? Like I had a Marine that tried committing suicide because his wife was messing around on him while he was out on deployment. And that's pretty hard. You know what I mean? That's hard. And granted, I wasn't married or whatever, but that doesn't mean I wasn't like seeing people or wanting to see people. So it's a hard life. It's not for everybody, and I definitely feel, and you may feel the same way, but when I got out because it was an evaluation of what can the Corps do for me? Where can I go with the Corps? And in comparison, what can I do in the civilian sector? And what do I feel would give me greater happiness and success? And obviously, I decided to go with civilian sector. and just do my own business, do my own thing, and it's been that way ever since, so I don't like working for other people. I prefer to work for myself.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I got another.
but,
Oh, go ahead. Finish
no,
yours.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just had another, very.
You cut out that whole time.
Oh, I said I just had another very important question for you. Take your time answering this.
Yeah.
If it's anything confidential, you don't have to say anything. You can keep it on the wraps. Now, you're a Marine officer. I respect that. I see that you're a man of important status, and maybe I'm hoping, right, that they've told you some things that they don't tell the rest of us. Now, tell me the truth, and don't lie to me here, okay? Are there aliens in Roswell, or do the Men in Black exist?
Oh my god.
Tell me the truth.
Oh,
I love you,
only
Overlord.
the truth, man.
Dylan, let me do this. Anytime you're given a pass to confidential or secret information, that pass, be it a secret security clearance or a top secret security clearance, oftentimes the only thing that you're going to know as far as nomenclature or what you're working with, you're only going to know specifically what you're working with. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I've got this, and so therefore I can just know about everything else. I had a top secret security clearance, but that only allowed me to, for example, know, what kind of missiles, we're making, and what kind of adapters they have, and and it's all shit that really you work with on a day-to-day basis, and you don't realize, like, hey, a lot of this is confidential. You know what I mean? So, but again, I don't know anything about aliens, and I don't know anything about Roswell. So
let the record show that doesn't mean it's not happening.
No, absolutely.
They didn't tell him. They didn't tell him.
Correlation is not causation here,
Sir.
So
I'm on to you.
Yeah.
FBI man looking at my webcam right now. You every day.
Right. Yeah.
I slap that webcam down every time.
Right. Tape it up. My FBI agent's nice though. He restarts my internet for me every now and again. He's a good
guy. So yeah, what else? Damn, I looking at the time.
Yeah, my bad. I was checking the DM real quick, trying to figure something out. So, how much do you know about Raj's show? I'm pretty sure you said you've never heard of it. Is that right?
Up until you mentioned anything, I'd not heard of it.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to Raj about it, because it's usually a problem if they're married or in a relationship. But I think it would be really good for everybody. Like, dude, you get so much exposure on there. I think you have the right personality to where you would definitely fit in and kill shit.
I spoke to the wife about it.
How does she feel?
I think she's indifferent about it. Within context, though, I think as long as I can make that distinctual divide, you know what I mean? And I'm not like...
Well, what if you were like, you talk to her and basically say, like, it's all for entertainment, like quote-unquote content? Okay, yeah, there's like no date afterwards or anything like that. It's just a show type of thing. Are you good at bantering, or do you like roasting people or talking shit?
I feel like you can talk some shit.
Yeah, I feel like you could too, but I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Like, you know what I mean? I really like you, and I want to be friends, so I don't want to.
The thing about this, though, Chedda, is I think if he goes on the show, like, people aren't gonna really want to talk shit to him. Not only because you're cool, but obviously, like, if I'm me, but because you got one arm, they might feel awkward, talking shit to you, honestly. So,
and that's fine. I mean, that might honestly, because I'm good with myself, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can tell.
I'm good with myself. So if somebody wants to roast me, I genuinely don't give a shit, and if I can laugh at myself, I'm gonna do it, I'll be the first to do it. So so I don't care, I mean, I like that's fine. I don't know what the show is like, so I don't know what to expect. Yeah, I mean, you're
Some
talking about roasting people. Like,
I
I
think
don't even know these people. You know,
right,
like,
right,
what are we even talking
exactly.
about here?
So that's another problem. Like it's kind of hard to be like, okay, roast him on the spot. Like you just snap your fingers and you just roasted him to a crisp. But like maybe we can work it out to where either this Wednesday or next Tuesday we could all chill in a voice call, watch a little bit of the show together, and then just talk about it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
I'd love to.
Yeah, because it'd be fun. I'd like you to be kind of active and talk with us more often. I've got a lot of other shows, and I help out other people with their shows. I want to help you get your name out there.
Well, if you guys ever need a hand, you know what I mean? I can be your
Hey.
hand.
Yeah, we
My
do.
man.
Hey, and I saw you got your left-hand man in the chat. If Nick ever wants to come on, I'd love to meet him too.
Nick is. Let me say something about Nick. You know, Nick doesn't get a lot of limelight. I don't know if he's still in here or not, but I can always just tell him to go back. You know, I met this guy in person, and through and through, he and I started streaming about the same time together. I met him over Battlefield. I went to TwitchCon this last year, and he and I stayed together in an Airbnb out there. Just had a fucking riot, man. This guy's hilarious. You know, he's a great gamer, great entertainer, and man, he helps me out a lot in my stream. And it's just a genuinely great dude. Like I think he's genuinely hilarious. So it'd be an honor, I think, for him to be on the show. Yeah, I think it'd
Yeah.
be great.
See, I love that. Yeah, if you know anyone else as well. So I'm always looking for people to come on my shows, Raj's shows, and the other people. But I am also working on setting up a veterans talk show podcast because quite a few people in my community and on my team are also veterans. So I'm trying to get it to where I can schedule a date, have like, 10 to 12 veterans all hop in a video chat. We stream it. I use my channel so they have an audience to kind of start the movement. And then as it gets some traction, kind of shift it over to, let's say, your channel, Shaiken's channel, or some other people that want to be involved. So that way you guys can kind of take it over after it gets known and you get regulars. They're like, okay, yeah, let's plan for tomorrow afternoon. I got to watch the podcast. You know what I mean? To kind of get it out there.
I think I mean, I'd be honored. You know, this is again all relatively new to me, and I'm extremely grateful that you had me on this evening.
Dude,
So
I'm
anytime,
thankful for you.
anytime, and
You're an
I put out.
inspiration, man.
Well, thank you very much.
Seriously.
I gave you my personal contact information, and I mean that's for you to use or not to use, but you have channels to otherwise reach out to me in the event that you want to make this happen again. So
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, we'll figure that out, and I'll talk to you after the stream or when you're done streaming as well.
sweet, yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, and if that's all right with you guys, I'd love to hop on over and get in some Apex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
for
no,
sure, dude.
not allowed.
Yeah, I know, right?
Do your thing, man.
But yeah, no, I appreciate the love, you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I mean, Nocturnal Trip, Paradox, Shaikan, Overlord. I appreciate you guys, and it's been a pleasure. So I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, dude.
Pleasure,
Sick.
Toe.
Thanks
All
for
right,
coming
man.
on.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
exactly. And we'll be able to teach you a lot as well. Like we can talk privately, you can talk with me and the team. We've all been around Twitch for a while. We can definitely teach you a few things.
I'd appreciate the love, you guys.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Have fun.
You guys have a great night.
You
You
too,
too.
man. I put his
Alright,
link in
yeah.
the chat. Everybody go check him out. Give him a follow. This man is a fucking beast at Apex. It's ridiculous.